Hey, it's Lacey, and today I want to discuss my baby-led weaning must-haves that I absolutely could not live without for Ryder. If you're not familiar with baby-led weaning, it's a unique approach to starting baby on solid foods where they bypass purees entirely in favor of finger foods. So pretty much the baby can eat whatever you're eating, which is really convenient for mom and dad because you're not making separate meals for them, and you're also not having to spoon feed them during meals that are eating on their own. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what baby-led weaning is or what it entails or the rules of traditional weaning versus baby-led weaning in this video, but if you'd like to see more on that, leave a comment down below and maybe I'll do a video on that as well. We started Ryder on baby-led weaning at 6 months. He was showing all signs of readiness, and so we jumped right in, and his first meal was mashed potatoes and carrots, and to this day he still does not like mashed potatoes. However, we've been doing it for 5 months, and he's eaten over 200 foods, and he'll be 11 months in just a couple days. So he's not a picky eater at all, which is one of the great benefits. So let's get into the products that I recommend and are my baby-led weaning must-haves for my son. All the links to these items will be in the description down below if you're interested in checking those out. The first thing is a good high chair, and when we were looking for a high chair, I wanted to make sure that it had a very big tray area because they eat off the tray or a plate. Sometimes the plate's not working out, so you just give them the tray, or if they're doing snacks, sometimes it's just easier to do it on the tray directly. So I didn't want one with a bunch of compartments on the tray. I just wanted a big, nice, flat surface for him to eat off of, or to put a plate on too. So I really wanted that. That was important. And then also one that's easy to clean. Baby-led weaning is very messy compared to traditional weaning, so you need to be prepared for a mess, and so one that's easy to clean was also very important. And I also wanted one that looked nice, and so did my husband. So we went with the OXO Tot Sprout High Chair, and we have absolutely no complaints about it so far. It's been really great. It cleans super easy with a couple wipes after each meal. The tray comes on and off of the high chair so that you can wash it very easily after a meal, and then the tray table locks from the front, from the side you're on, not the side the baby's on, so there's no risk of him, unlocking the high chair. So it's been awesome. I highly recommend that chair. You'll also want to invest in some really good bibs, and I absolutely love these. These are just panda ear, tie in the back bibs, and they're great because you can just rinse them all right off in the sink when you're done, or wipe them down with a sponge and they're clean. But they also have the front turns inside out to make a little pouch, which is very important with baby-led weaning because a lot of the food they drop right into this pouch, and then you can pull it out and put it back on the tray for them to eat more of, so that it's not wasted. And it's just a matter of, because they're putting stuff in their mouth, stuff kind of falls down occasionally. So you'll definitely want to get bibs with a pocket, and I really like these. Like I said, super easy to clean and rinse, and if you can just toss them in the washing machine as well. These are so cheap. We buy them every so often just to replace them. We're on our second set in 5 months, so they last a while. But I think they're less than $15 for 3. Another bib that we really can't live without is this mushy silicone bib. It has the front pocket, and we use these when we do smoothies or yogurt or oatmeal because it's just so wet and messy that it's nice to just take this and put it over his other bib. So it's a double bib situation. That way we can just rip this off and wash it down the sink, and it's taken care of, and he doesn't get all wet. These are waterproof, but sometimes with the amount of liquid that might be involved when they spit things back out, or if you're teaching them how to use a open top cup, you might want to opt for the silicone ones just to minimize your mess. That brings me to the Bumpkins silicone suction plates. We really like these because they suction to the tray directly, so they're less likely to be flopped over with all the food going to the cats on the floor. They have 3 compartments, which is nice, so you can put your main and maybe a fruit or a veggie or whatever. works really nicely, and it's because the edges are curved, baby can scoop food out easily with their hand, which is really nice. He can even eat like yogurt and oatmeal right out of this and just scoop everything towards him. When he was really little, just getting started, he couldn't reach the second section as well because he was kind of smaller in the high chair and it was, kind of further away. So you may consider that in the beginning that you might want to eat directly off of the tray, but it didn't take long, maybe a month, and then he was able to reach the second compartments just fine, and now he can reach over the other end of the high chair. So just something to think about, that you might not need these till 7 months. If you're looking to get started at 6, so you could always skip the plates and then get them later down the road. For cups, we opted to skip sippy cups for various reasons, and he was never using bottles, so we skipped those too and went straight to open top cups. We really like these. They're the Easy Tots cups. They have kind of grooved sides so baby can hold on to them easily without slipping, and they have a wider bottom so they're harder to tip, which is very important when the baby's using them. He still does not hold them himself to drink. I hold it for him, but that seems to work fine for us, whatever works for you and your baby. When I use these, we taught him to use a straw. Very early on, I was pretty keen on this, so I think I did it around, I want to say 7 months I taught him to use a straw. So a month after getting started, and it took a little effort, but we got that down, and so now he uses the cup with a straw and just drinks right out of the straw. Another cup we've used, but not very much, is the Easy Peasy cups. These are really popular. They're weighted at the bottom, so they're harder to tip, but they still wobble. But they are much more solid in that they have much more weight. They don't hold hardly any water, which is my big complaint about them, because Ryder does drink a lot of water at meals. I think these hold like an ounce or two, where these are, I think, 4 ounces, so quite a big difference. But these are great because if you want to teach them how to drink out of an open cup, they can hold these really well with their hands because they are much smaller, as you can see, and they are weighted. So he can kind of cup it, and when he holds it, it covers his nose and his mouth, and so it makes like a seal, so the water's less likely to go all over them. So it's a good teaching cup, and that's kind of what we use it for. But we don't use it often, just because he does so well with a straw, and that works for us. These are just regular silicone straws that I got on Amazon. I bought 2 different sizes, so there's a bigger one and a smaller width one. So these are regular drinking straws. These are smoothie straws, and I use them for water, smoothies. And I cut them in half. So I just bought regular size straws and cut them in half with sharp scissors, and now they're like perfect baby size. Awesome. For utensils, we are not using forks yet, obviously not using knives, but we do use spoons. We tried letting him self-feed with spoons, which is the traditional way of baby-led weaning. We're not real strict on the whole traditional way of baby-led weaning, so I usually will use the spoon if he needs a spoon at all. He doesn't really spoon feed much, but I do occasionally do combo feeding, so he'll get a puree or something like that, but he's kind of onto the pouches where you just squeeze them, so he just sucks it out like a straw, so it's not really a big deal. But when he does use a spoon, we really like these. They are silicone tipped with a bamboo handle, so they're easy for him to grab. They're really lightweight. He, holds it like this and just kind of shoves it in his mouth. Works out pretty good, but they always end up on the floor. So that's why we've kind of abandoned the idea for now of him feeding himself with spoons, because they just go on the floor and then the cats are on top of them. So you could go through like 6 spoons in, 5 minutes. And that didn't sound fun to me. So we skipped that for now. We'll come back to him self-feeding with silverware at some point. But for right now, when he occasionally uses a spoon, these work great, but he's mostly just hands in at the moment. Oatmeal is something I like using these for. Because they're silicone, they work like a spatula, and you can really scrape everything out of his plate with these to give him like the last bits. Sometimes I use them just to kind of scoop everything back into the middle of the plate for him, and then he can keep self-feeding with his hands. So I probably use these for that more than anything else. But the silicone is also really gentle on their gums and their teeth, so you don't have to worry about them, jabbing themselves in anywhere. They're very safe. So these last 2 things are not required for baby led weaning in any way, but I couldn't live without them. I love them. So these are We Sprout jars, and they're for baby food, but since we don't use baby food, I use them for meal prepping his meals. So this is like the perfect size for an entree for him. I think they're about 4 ounces total. You know, they have a marker for 2 ounces, which is about halfway up. So if you filled it to the lid, which is what I do, he gets about a 4-ounce entree. Ryder eats a lot. And I also like using them just to prep vegetables, like cook a bunch of peas, put them in here, pop it in the fridge, and then I just need to pour some out into his tray, heat it up, it's good to go. So these jars have been awesome. The lids are really cool. They come in all different colors. You get a pack with 12 different jars with, I think, 6 different colored lids, so 2 of each color, and they're really bright, fun colors. And the great thing about them is that the lids pop right off of those jars, and then when he got a little older, he started using some bigger jars, and I wanted a bigger size for meal prepping, just because sometimes this was too small. If you're using something that's long, finger-length strips like broccoli or something, this is really great for broccoli, the 8-ounce size versus the 4. But these lids screw right onto the 8-ounce ones. So these aren't from We Sprouts, this is a different brand, but I like the straight sides, and with the lids being on both of them, it kind of looks like a set. Maybe that matters to you, maybe it doesn't. To me, I liked that feature. So these are great. If you meal prep for baby and you, I recommend these. They're also really awesome, these especially. If you open a container of applesauce, pop it in here, it stays fresh all week. Pumpkin from a can, pop it in one of these. Really useful. He also drinks his smoothies out of these. So when we were first getting started, I make a smoothie every morning. Just to give you a little background here, I make a smoothie for myself every morning. I have for years, and I always do a vegetable and fruit smoothie. I usually do leafy green smoothies with fruit 5 days a week, and then 2 days a week I do like a berry and beet or a carrot and peach or something like that. So anyway, Ryder has a smoothie with me every day too. He has his normal plate of food for breakfast, and when he's done eating the plate of food, then I offer him a smoothie if he wants any more. He usually does. He usually finishes it. So he was eating a 2-ounce smoothie for the first month, then he went up to a 4-ounce smoothie for a while, and now he is up to about a 6 to 8 ounce, depending on how hungry he is that morning, size now at almost 11 months. So these straws, cut in half, fit in either of these containers, voila, and you have a smoothie. Another thing I really recommend investing in is washcloths. I've had people ask me all the time, like, what do you use to clean up after you feed the baby? Are you using baby wipes? Don't use baby wipes. Please don't use baby wipes. You gotta clean your face, the baby's face, their hands, sometimes up to their elbows. You know, depending if they're eating in just a diaper, which some people do. You know, you gotta clean their stomach. It just really depends. But you want something gentle on their skin. Baby's skin is super gentle, obviously. You could just pop them in the tub, but for me that's not realistic. It's too much work to put him in the tub after every meal because he eats 5 times a day. So we're not going to do that. So I got these Burt's Bees baby washcloths. They're really soft and they hold up really well. They're kind of, you know, covered in baby stuff because I use them every day. Spaghetti, pumpkin, beets, you name it. They've been turned all sorts of colors. But I just grab a couple of these after each meal, get some warm water on them, clean his hands. Then when his hands are done, I clean his face. The order of this is important. Otherwise it just keeps coming back and forth and you clean each thing over and over again. But washcloths, definitely the way to go. I've tried baby wipes. I do not recommend it. You go through a ton of them. It's not very environmentally friendly. And it's just a pain. So washcloths have definitely been a must-have for us. And I keep just a big stack of them at the dining table, and then I can just go to the sink, get like 2 or 3 of them wet with warm water, and then come back to the table and clean them up, and it works really well. So those are my baby-led weaning must-haves. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I missed anything that you absolutely adore for baby-led weaning, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what that is. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss my next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.